look up and down the pavement.
Yeah, so you've got to look right over your shoulder as you did there, and I'm going to do the same on this side. When you get out, Tony, I'd like you to close the door securely for me, and then just wait on the pavement for me to come round, okay?
I remember that from last week.
Perfect, so we're going to do exactly the same again. I'd like you to wait on the pavement until I tell you otherwise, okay? Okay, ready for this? Yeah. There we go, this is up to you now. Okay, I don't want you to put the keys in the ignition until you're there. Okay, I'm going to go on this side and I'm going to get you to go around into the driver's side. Okay, wait a second for me. Hold on again. Okay. Is that asking for trouble?
Sorry?
Is that asking for trouble?
Tell him over that early.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, I gave you a good explanation of to make sure. Remember that song? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you say to me about closing the door afterwards?
Make sure it's done securely.
Yeah, you told me to actually close the door afterwards. Should that have been telling me to close the door afterwards, or can you remember?
Can you remember what to do when you get out? Okay, so maybe prompt a bit more than educate.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta take me forward.
Yeah.
Not backwards. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm. Cool. Carry on.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, Tony. So you've already done it for me. We're going to do it once more for you now. We're just going to go through your cockpit drill.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Shall I set myself up?
Yeah. So I want you to talk me through it though as you do it, please, Tony. Tell me all the things you're doing and checking. Is that okay?
No, DH treble SM. I remember that from last week.
Excellent. Then you'll have no problems.
Okay.
Okay. So what's the first one you've done?
In the seat of it.
Okay, just stop a second for me. What was the order you told me of the? What's the order that you're doing? Door. Okay. You happy with that?
Is your door closed?
My door's closed. Okay. What's next? Before you do your seat, what came after D? Okay. Make sure you don't touch handle. Well done.
I remember that.
I told you, should I?
You warned me last week and I touched the button.
Okay.
That's alright.
Okay. Just talk me through how you're making sure that your seat's comfortable, Tony. What have you done to make it?
Bending the knee.
Bending your knee. Okay. What else have you done before you do your steering wheel? Just put that back in for me a second, please. What else have you done with your seat? You've got yourself comfortable with your feet. What else can you do to check?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The back's alright.
Anything else?
Yeah, I'm okay with the cockpit drill. I've
Okay.
pretty much done that last week. Yeah, I can see the clocks. See, out. Make sure it's not twisted.
Yep.
Make sure the passenger's wearing one.
He's just lounging in the back. I wouldn't worry about him. Whose responsibility is that, Tony?
Sorry?
Whose responsibility is that?
My moral responsibility. It
is your moral responsibility.
He put a seatbelt on him, he can find the nearest bus stop. And mirrors.
Okay. How many hands are you using at the moment, Tony, on there? 2.
2.
Okay. Does that mean you're in your normal driving position? Or are you leaning in to see that at the moment?
No, you're a bit of a fussy.
Yeah? Okay. That's too fussy.
He's in wrong.
Oh, okay. Okay. What I'd like you to do, Tony, for me is, do you remember we said that we're going to do it with one hand from the normal driving position? Do you remember when you taught me through the cockpit drill right at the start of this lesson?
Oh, right.
You told me to do it with one hand, but also make sure you're sat in your normal driving seat. So sit back in the seat for me a second. Stop what you're doing there.
You didn't have a fuss point on your block last week, was really easy going.
Okay. I'm going to bite my tongue on that one. If you'd like to sit back in the seat for me. So you're in your normal driving position.
Yeah.
Now take one hand off the steering wheel, leave the rest of your body where it is, and put it up into the middle of the mirror for me. That's it. And now adjust it. So you're using the no. Go back to your normal driving position for me. That's it. Keep the rest of your body still and just move your hand to get that mirror straight.
You're not fussy, are you?
I am fussy. Go back into that position for me. Now tell me what you can see through the mirror. From there.
Right, I'll come out of roll.
Okay.
You're going to be here all day to get me to do this.
Okay. What am I not doing? Oh, the consequences. Okay. Okay. It's important to stay where you are, Tony, back in the seat, because that's where you're going to be driving from and using the mirror, okay? And that's where it's important to be able to have the whole view in that mirror from.
Yeah, I can get a whole view by leaning.
Okay, why do you, well, you can't lean when you're driving, Tony, because otherwise you're not going to be concentrating fully on the road. Your hands might wander a little bit whilst you're turning into the corner as well. So I need you to stay in that position for me, please, and adjust the mirror from there so you can see the whole mirror there. Okay, back into the normal position. Remember what we've just said about that? It's important.
I nearly keep it.
Before I give you the keys, Tony, it's important to stay in that position again because you're going to be there for your driving. So you need to stay in your driving position and then adjust your mirrors from there, okay? So just one click. Stay in your position for me. That's it. Why do you think it's important not to lean over whilst you're checking them, Tony?
You said it might affect my steering.
It might affect your steering. Anything else it could affect?
Well, my control of the car, isn't it?
Absolutely. Okay. No, staying in your normal position again for me, Tony.
Yeah.
Okay, and again maintaining that position. Just tell me what you can see through that mirror for me, please.
I can see the top and bottom of the back window.
Uh-huh.
And I can see a bit of my head just straight in a bit of yours.
Fantastic. Through this window? The mirror?
I can see the door handles.
Yeah.
I see the sky at the top.
Yeah.
And the horizon in the middle.
Okay, and the same for that
Same.
door. Fantastic. Okay. Right, now we go look at moving off and stopping,
Oh,
okay?
yeah.
Right, let's grab my book. Moving off. Okay, so we're going to be learning what's called the POM technique here, okay? Which stands for prepare, observe, move.
All right.
Okay. Now, when you went through the controls, you also learned about the pedals, didn't you? And what order they went in. Can you remember the 3 letters for the pedals?
Yeah, ABC.
ABC, fantastic. So, what we're going to start off with is you're going to be using your left foot on the C pedal, the clutch, which is the left-hand side one. You can see in the diagram here, you're going to be pushing it down, all the way down as well, okay? You need to be keeping your hand on the steering wheel at that stage, and then your left hand is going to come across to the gear stick, okay? And as I spoke you through at the start, you're going to be moving it to the number 1, which will be left and forward. Don't push it down or anything. Keep it where it is, and you can just move it like that. Can you see that movement that I'm doing at the moment?
Yeah.
Okay, look down at the gear stick for me.
Yeah.
Okay, all the way to the left and all the way forward. And that's into first gear. Now, when the engine's running, Tony, you'll only be able to do that when the clutch is all the way down, okay? And it's important
Yeah,
that that's...
I'll just come out a roll a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you just give me a brief outline of what we're going to do,
And then talk you through it at the time.
because you're going to have to you're going to have to go through all of this.
Fine.
Yeah, otherwise it's going to be a very long brief, isn't it?
Okay,
It's
no
going to go
problem.
into 15 minutes, isn't it?
So kind of as quick as... We're going to be putting the clutch
I'm
down,
actually
selecting
just,
the gear.
a brief outline, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So when we're going through it, the preparation, Tony, is we're going to be going clutch down all the
Yeah.
way. Okay, selecting the appropriate gear for moving off. We're then going to be putting a tiny bit of power in with the right foot. And do you remember in your controls lesson you spoke about putting it down the width of a pound coin?
Yeah, he didn't use the word tiny. He called it pound coin.
Okay.
Pound coin.
So you're going to be putting the power down the thickness of a
Yeah.
pound coin. It's important you only do it a little bit like that, otherwise we're going to go down the road quickly, okay?
Yeah.
We're then going to be coming off the, lifting up the clutch pedal, again, by the thickness of a pound coin at a time. You might have to do it a few thicknesses, but do it one at a time, okay, until we find what's called the biting point. And you'll feel the biting point, because as soon as you're on it, the car will start to, the weight of the car will go backwards. You'll feel the weight move of the car, and it'll be over the back wheels, okay? At that point, you need to keep your feet exactly where it is. You need to lock them in place and not move them at all, okay? You then, that's prepare, that's that section done, okay? The observations, do you remember we've just looked at the observations as we've been driving here with your mirrors? So which mirrors do you think you're going to be checking before you move? Can you remember which ones I did at the very start?
That one, that one.
Yeah. Anywhere else that isn't mirrors that we might be observing?
blind spot.
Over your blind spot, okay. So it's important, whilst you've got your feet in those positions, to look around those. Out the front as well is important.
Yeah.
And over your blind spot. You need to
Yeah.
give a really good look there, okay? If you need to signal, you might need to. It would be important to signal if there's another car coming. It wouldn't be important to signal. It would be important at times, but presumably that's too much right now. Or will we talk about it now?
Okay.
Okay, so we need to question whether we're going to signal or not. We just need to look around at what else is happening and we'll judge it at the time, okay? Keep your feet locked in that position all that time, and now we're going to come onto the handbrake. So your left hand is going to come down onto the handbrake, but you must keep your other hand on the steering wheel, okay? And then what we're going to do is lift it up slightly and push the silver button in at the same time, and then release it and
I
go
done
down.
that last week, yeah, and I tried that last week.
You tried that last week. Fantastic. And keep your feet locked in that position. Keep your hands on the steering wheel. Now, both hands on the steering wheel. The handbrake hand goes back up. We're going to move slightly right, about 5 minutes right. And that's just to pull us away from the curb. And then 5 minutes left to go straight down the road. And then keep your hands straight, and we'll be heading down the road. It's easy as that, okay? Now, once we're moving, we need to think about stopping quite urgently, don't we? So... oh my god. We're going to stop. We're going to be checking our mirrors. Okay, can you remember when I was coming over to the side, for example, when I was pulling in...
To stop, we're going to use a routine called...
Oh, okay, we're going to use a routine that's MSPSL, it's called. Okay, so it's mirrors, signal, position, speed, and look.
Yeah.
First of all, mirrors. When I pulled back in after a car, which mirrors did I check, Tony? When we're going round a parked car. Middle and left. Now, because we're coming over to the left-hand side, we're going to use those same mirrors again there. Okay?
Yeah.
We then need to wonder, do we need to signal? Are there other cars? Is it going to benefit somebody if we tell them that we're moving over? If it's not, and it's a quiet road, for example, as it is now, we're not going to worry about signalling. Your position, we need to move over to the side of the road. So we're going to go 5 minutes to me, and then 5 minutes to the right, and that'll pull us over to the right-hand side, to the left-hand side of the road. And then keep your hands straight, okay? We need to be adjusting our speed. So your right foot, do you remember your heel's going to be there, and you're going to go from the accelerator, off the accelerator, and gently onto the brake. Again, by the width of a pound coin, that's all you need, and gently increasing it by that width every time, okay? As we start to slow down, your left foot needs to go down on the clutch, and that's going to stop the engine stalling. And it's important we do that, Tony, to maintain full control of the car, okay? And then we need to be looking just to make sure that we're not stopping, for example, where we're not allowed to park, or there's no pedestrians crossing and we go in front of them, anything like that. And then we're going to come to a stop on the side of the road. Once you come to a stop, what you need to do for me is you're going to get the handbrake, not pushing the button in this time, and you're going to lift it up with your left hand by 3 clicks. As you pull it, or once you've pulled it up, you then go put your hand across to the gear stick and just knock it into the middle. So for example, if it's in second gear, just knock it forward and you'll feel, because you can move it sideways, that it's in neutral. At that point, all your feet can come off and you've stopped at the side of the road. Happy? Is it a lot to take in? I think we're probably best off giving it a go, and you'll learn it on the go.
No, we'll just go back on a few things there.
Okay.
Yeah, leave the consolidation of steering till the end, yeah?
Okay.
Another thing you need to consolidate, which I wouldn't have covered on a controls lesson, is the covering of the brake.
Okay.
Cover the brake means put your foot over it.
Over it, but don't use it yet.
Yeah, you did try and cover the steering, but if I was to use the steering that you gave me there, I'd be either gone across the road or up on the pavement, yeah?
Okay.
You were going, I'd steer 5 minutes and then straight, yeah?
Okay.
If I steer 5 minutes to the right and then straight.
So it should have been 5 minutes to the right,
I'm
5
gonna be
minutes,
heading
5
over
minutes to the right,
Well,
5
10
minutes to the left.
Yeah.
10 minutes left, sorry, that's what I was doing, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so we need to consolidate the steering, yeah?
Okay.
So,
Can I also just say that as an observer, is I had never, before we did this, Tony, I'd never heard the term used for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So would it be worth just explaining, if you imagine the face of a clock on the steering wheel?
well, yeah, that's exactly where we're going to go with the consolidation.
Right,
And that's
okay.
why you're best leaving the consolidation to the end, yeah?
Right.
Okay.
So the consolidation is going to be, if you hold your hands up in front of you.
Yeah, okay, so put your hands out in front of you for me, Tony.
Yeah, you get involved as well. I'm not looking at Pratt on my own, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay. And if you imagine the steering wheel has become a clock, okay, so 12 would be at the top, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what we're going to do is put your hands in the 2 position for your right hand and the 10 position for your left hand. And to help you out, there's ridges on the inside of your steering wheel to help your hands go there. Can you feel those for me? That's it. So it should be about there. A little bit higher for me. There we go. How does that feel for you?
Right.
Okay. Now, I'm going to be using the terms as we go round, 5 minutes and 10 minutes. So you can imagine going 5 minutes as 1 number round, 10 minutes being 2 numbers round.
5 minutes which way?
So I'll be saying 5 minutes to the right or 5 minutes to the left. So if you imagine now, if you just... So 5 minutes is just a slight turn, 1 number round.
Right.
Can you imagine if you... That's it, about there.
Yeah.
And then 10 minutes to the left from there would be where? Would it be that far around? It'd be 2 numbers, wouldn't it? So if, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And then 5 minutes to the right, and that would finish you straight again, wouldn't it?
All right.
Facing forward. Does that make sense for you,
Yeah.
Tony? Okay.
Yeah.
That's all we're going to be using at this stage, just 5 and 10 minutes. Is that okay?
Then you got that picture there. That picture there shows us that to pick up a reference point for being
For being here.
parked by the curb. You're not going to ask me to use that reference point, especially.
Not now, but it's good to pick it for later, is it?
Yeah. So
Okay. So, Tony, we're going to pick a reference point while we're here as well for pulling over to the side of the road.
Yeah.
We'll be using it later in later
Yeah.
lessons. Can you tell me, for you, where does the curb meet the car at the moment?
where's it cut into the car?
Where does it cut into the car?
Right there.
About there. Okay, so I need you to remember that point. Is it about the corner of the car, of the bonnet for you?
I just told you where it was.
Yeah,
It's in the
okay.
middle.
So I'd like you to remember that point,
Yeah.
and we're going to be using it later on in lessons to be able to pull over into the correct distance and space. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there any more?
No.
Okay.
Should we crack on and have a go? Because I'm getting really nervous.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, Tony. What I need you to do for me now is, first of all, do you remember how I told you?
Do you want me to take that book?
Oh, thank you. What I'd like you to do, first of all, for me, is just check that the vehicle's in neutral. And can you remember how I told you to do that?
Oh, he told me last week.
Yeah, okay, so if you just shake the steering wheel for the gear stick for me.
Yeah, he told me last week I had to do precautions for starting the engine.
Okay, so if you've done precautions for starting the engine, if you'd like to start the engine,
Remember what I said to you to start this lesson?
prompt.
Take me from where I ended up last week forward.
Okay. So precautions is part of the controls lesson, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you'd like to start the engine for me then,
Yeah.
please, Tony.
Turn this. Put the clutch down in this car. And then as soon as the engine starts, let the key go.
Okay. Fantastic. Well done. So we're now going to go through the POM routine to start off.
All right.
Okay. So the first one was can you remember what the P stood for in POM?
No.
No, it's prepare.
Oh, prepare, right.
Yeah. So what we're going to do in this order is you're going to put the clutch all the way down for me,
Alright,
please.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. You're then going to leave the clutch in for now, and I want you to move the steering wheel into first gear. The steering wheel. I'm going to keep calling it that. The gear stick into first gear,
Alright.
all the way to the left. Or if you go back into the middle for me, keep the clutch in. Okay. You're going to move it as far to the left as you can without pushing the gear stick down. Do it nice and slowly for me. So left hand onto the gear stick. Follow my hand. Over to the left. Over to the left, and then forwards. That's it. That's in first gear. Keep your foot on the clutch for me at the moment, okay? What we're going to do now is we're going to
Remember,
find...
you're not going to... if you don't come in with the becauses,
Because... okay.
every time you ask me to select first gear,
Yeah, you go to third.
I'm going to go to third.
Okay.
Yeah?
So it's important to select first gear, Tony, because that's the gear to move off in. It's got the biggest gear, so it's the easiest for the
Yeah,
vehicle to
yeah.
move.
Give it
Otherwise,
to-
you're going to stall.
Give it to me in plain English. I'm going to stall, yeah?
Okay. So it's
Yeah.
important to be in first gear, Tony. Otherwise, you go stall as
Oh,
we
don't
pull
stall
off.
on my first lesson, because
No, we really don't want to stall.
all my mates didn't stall.
Right, okay, so we were in first gear. You
Yeah.
need to remember that gear, okay? What we're going to do now is we're going to find the biting point, okay? So both hands on the steering wheel
Set
for
the
me.
gas.
Sorry?
Set the gas.
Set the gas first.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do first of all is you're going to now use the accelerator pedal, the A pedal, and put it down just by the width of a pound coin, okay? So you'll just hear the engine note change ever so slightly, just the width of a pound coin. That's a little bit less for me. Take it off by the width of a pound coin. Fantastic. Okay, we're going to leave it about there, and now very, very slowly we're going to bring the clutch up by the width of a pound coin at a time. So very, very slowly, and you'll feel the weight of the car eventually. So keep bringing it up nice and slowly. Keep your right foot where it is. Keep bringing the clutch, or bring the clutch up a little bit for me, just a little bit by the width of a pound coin.
I'm finished with the gas, yeah? You got it right, yeah?
Okay. Keep bringing the gas off by the width of a pound coin. A little bit less. A little bit less. You're looking for this to be between the 1 and 2. That's about right there. Okay, we're going to leave that foot where it is now. Lock that foot where it is. Okay?
Yeah. You can wish.
No? Where do you want it?
Sorry?
Whereabouts would you like it?
No, I'd like to because.
Okay. It's I'm not going to get this, am I? It's important to keep the gas where it is, Tony. Otherwise, if we've got too much, we're going to go shooting off down the road.
Oh, right,
if we
right.
don't have enough, then
Oh,
we'll
right.
stall.
Oh,
Okay?
right, yeah.
So keep it exactly where it is and lock it for me. Now what we're going to do, Tony, is with your left foot, we're going to try and find the biting point for the clutch. You need to bring it up by the width of a pound coin at a time. It's important.
About a centimetre.
About a centimetre. Okay, by about a centimetre at a time. It's important to do it slowly, Tony, because if you come off too quickly while the handbrake's on,
I brought up a centimetre.
then we're going to stall. Okay, so you haven't found the biting point yet. You'll feel the weight move, so try another centimetre for me. Okay, and another centimetre for me. Okay, it's a little bit more than a centimetre we're doing at the moment, so if you just do a little bit less this time, about half what you did that time, and bring it up again a little bit. Okay, a little bit in for me by the width of a pound coin.
In.
Yeah, down, sorry. Okay, okay. We want to be in between the two. You'll just feel the weight of the car move on the...
All right.
Okay, so just up by the width of a pound coin again this time. There we go. Can you just hear the note change on the engine as well? Okay, so lock those feet where they are, okay?
Yeah.
Now we need to do our observations. Now, keeping it where it is, clutch in for me. It's important to keep the clutch exactly where it is, Tony, because if you don't, then either we're going to stall or we'll go shooting off down the road as soon as we put the handbrake in. So lock those feet exactly where they are, okay?
Yeah.
Now we're going to do our observations, Tony, okay?
All right, yeah.
It's important to do the observations because we need to make sure that the road's clear before we're pulling away.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to check the mirrors. As you described to me earlier, we're going to check what can you see in your wing mirror, in your door mirror on your left here. Can you tell me what you can see in this one?
I can see the pavement, the grass.
Okay, are there any pedestrians, any hazards, potential hazards for you?
Can't see anything there.
No? Okay. What about out the front, Tony? What can you see out there?
Parked cars.
Okay, what can you see out your interior mirror?
Roadworks behind me.
Okay, and what can you see out? Is there any hazards through that roadworks that you can see? Any moving vehicles?
No.
No? What about out your right door mirror, Tony? What can you see there?
Pretty much same as what I can see in there, but it looks a lot further away.
Okay, and can you tell me what you can see through your right blind spot? So you need to look for me between the door, between your... Yeah, that bit.
No,
Okay, it's important to look through there. Obviously, we just need to make sure that there's nothing you haven't seen in the mirrors.
can't
You
see
happy?
No.
Okay, what we're going to do now, keep your feet exactly where they are, and you'll go put your left hand on the handbrake.
Yeah.
Okay, and when I say, you're going to lift it. You're going to lift it up slightly, button in, and then go. When I say, okay, it's important that you do.
mean release it like I did
Release
last
the
week?
handbrake like you did last week in your controls lesson. Okay, right. Do final observations for me. Just go round to make sure you're happy. So you got left door mirror. Yeah. Okay. Right. Handbrake down for. Oh, we're just going to wait for this mini at the moment. Keep the handbrake on for me. Okay. And when you go down, Tony, it's important you make sure it goes all the way down, okay?
Yeah.
So all the way down for me. If you put your hand back on the handbrake, you can tell because the warning light's on there. I'm on your side of the cockpit, sorry. Okay, so if you put the handbrake, push the button in, but lift it up, push the button in, push it all the way down.
Yeah.
There we go. And now, keep your feet where they are. I want you to turn 5 minutes to the right for me, please.
Steer you mean?
Steer, sorry. And now 10 minutes towards me, please.
10 minutes. My foot's getting really sore on this clutch.
Fantastic. Now you can lift the clutch out all the way. There we go. And then just a little bit more gas for me, please, by the width of a pound coin. A little bit less. That's fantastic. Okay. Now check your mirrors. You've got interior mirror and right mirror, and move round this vehicle. I'm sorry, that's too tight to them, isn't it? Okay. What we're going to do now for me, please, is you're going to cover the brake. So right foot just over the brake. Okay, 5 minutes towards me. Check your mirrors as you come in. Good. Now put the clutch in all the way down, and braking. 10 minutes to the right. Oh, forgot that one.
Oh, that car behind is sticking his fingers up at me.
Sorry. Okay. We'll let them go.
I don't think he knew what we were doing, did he?
No, he didn't, because we didn't signal.
He's doing that.
Okay. What I'd like for you to do for me now, Dan.
Right, just relax for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.